And joining me right now here on the Mark Moses Show podcast is my great friend, Andrew Spivey with Gator Country. We got to talk about a new head football coach there at the Swamp. Andrew, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing good, Mark. Thanks for having me on.
I know it's been a hectic couple of days for you, so again, thanks for coming on. All right, let's get to it then. Jon Sumrall, the new coach there at Gainesville. What are your thoughts, Andrew?
I think I'm like everybody else where, I had kind of gotten my hopes up that it was going to be Lane Kiffin, and was kind of looking forward to that. The high-powered offense, the social media quirks that come along with Lane Kiffin. But I've followed Jon Sumrall and known about him for a while. Growing up in Alabama, being a South Alabama alum. Troy's our rival. I have several friends who played at Troy, and they talk about Troy, and that's where Jon Sumrall got his head coaching start at, was the Troy. So I know a lot about that, and have been able to kind of do some homework and talk to some people about him. And I will say this: there's not a person who has any bad things to say about Jon Sumrall. And they say that he is the polar opposite of Billy Napier. He's a fiery, intense guy, but he's also a guy that understands that every person he comes in contact with is somebody he needs to appreciate because they're a part of the program. And everything I've been told and heard is that he understands what it takes to win at Florida. He understands he needs a high-powered offense, and he's going to be intense, and he's not going to be a guy that has to meddle in everything. He's going to let his coaches coach. I think that's a big thing, and I think that's something that needs to be said. And listen, it was a popular name. I think, Mark, and you may disagree with me, but I've asked people this question, and I think if we're not talking about where he came from, this is a whole different conversation. I've asked everybody, are you mad because he's a G5 coach? Are you mad because he's not Lane Kiffin? Or are you mad because he's not good? Not good hasn't come up yet. So I think that once we get past this phase of, the Lane Kiffin thing and then Billy Napier being from Louisiana Lafayette, people are gonna come around to Jon Sumrall.
I thought it was going to be Lane Kiffin, and that's all the discussion has been in this state over the last 2 months since Napier was let go, where we're going to get Kiffin, we're going to fix this. Now, maybe I'm delusional thinking that, but nothing against this new coach, but this feels like a disappointment because the hottest name said, I'm going to a better job. LSU is a better job in Florida, and that's what feels like a slap in the face right now to Gator Nation. Do you kind of feel that way right now?
Yeah, but it's so weird, and we'll never know the full story of what transpired. But obviously everybody, I'm sure, has heard the booster back and forth that's went on and different things. And Lane Kiffin never officially told Florida no. It was just some not the communication they expected. We had heard things throughout the last few weeks that led us all to believe that Florida was going to land Lane and different things. And so, I don't know that we'll ever know the full details, Mark. I really don't. I think that there are a lot of things that went on. Obviously Scott Strickland not giving full control to or wanting to give full control to Lane, and not wanting to let him bring his GM, but more so wanting to have the NFL-style GM like he hired in David Caldwell. That was a non-starting point for Lane. And, there's a lot. I will say this, that probably after yesterday, the fan base has turned a little bit on Lane, and, the drama he created with Ole Miss and stuff, that has helped Jon Sumrall and helped Florida. But I think, again, once Jon Sumrall is able to get past this first win of, failure in the eyes of not being Lane Kiffin, he's going to win over fans. I think so.
All right, let's clarify this. I'm sorry I have to ask this question. How do you pronounce his last name? Is it Sumrall or Sumrall? I'm confused.
Sumrall.
Sumrall. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Not Sumrall. Sumrall.
That according to what I've been told, yes. Hopefully we'll have clarification here in a little while when he comes to the podium and takes the job. We'll just call him John. Let's just call him John.
Dude, I had to clarify how to spell or say Jim McElwain. I was confused by that when they first hired him. Dude.
Well, listen, I have my iPhones do not like the spelling of his last name. Let me just go ahead and tell you that, because they will autocorrect to something not that multiple times. So, yeah.
Louisiana, they had the governor chime in, and then the AD was pretty much told you have to leave. Then they're giving Lane, I mean, what is it, $13 million a year? All this millions for his assistants, and then I think he's going to get money that Ole Miss would get for making the playoff. I mean, then they're giving Brian Kelly $50 million. Where's all this money coming from there at Louisiana?
When you figure it out, you let me know, because that's the major question that we all have is, where's this coming from? You didn't have the money to pay Brian Kelly, and you went to war with him over that money, and now you find a way to make this money, with Lane Kiffin. So, well, I don't know. That's their problem, and hopefully, for Lane's sake, it works out, because that buyout that they're going to owe him, if it don't, will he ever get that? We'll see.
Dude, if Kalen DeBoer struggles at Alabama, we'll have rumors like, oh, well, Lane will go fix Bama now. That's going to happen, Andrew. Come on.
From talking to people at Alabama that I know and trust, and I feel like I have very good sources at Alabama with boosters and stuff, Lane Kiffin will never be the coach in Tuscaloosa.
Well, then that settles that. You talked about, we're here at the Andrew Spivey, Gator Country. You talked about Florida also hiring a GM. Explain this situation then to me.
Yeah, I mean, they're really wanting to do that whole, have the GM not report to the head coach, but report to the AD, kind of like an NFL-style structure. That's kind of been the play that they've had, since Napier left, and they went out and hired David Caldwell, who used to be with the Jags. They interviewed several people, landed on him, and he's expected to be in town as well. He was on a Zoom call last night with Sumrall and the commits, and that's what they're hoping. I think it'll work. I mean, because you're looking at a style now in college where you have NIL structure, you have salary cap per se with the revenue share. You have a lot of things going on, so I think having somebody to help you do that and navigate that is good. So maybe it'll work.
What are your expectations then for year one next fall for this new head football coach?
I mean, my expectations are the same that they are for every team with Florida. You should be competing. I mean, it's the University of Florida. You should compete. I think that a lot depends on what happens with the roster. I do think he'll keep most of the roster. Florida's NIL is really good. I mean, nowadays I don't know. I don't know that the head coach is as important as it used to be because of the fact that the NIL is there. And I think you just need a coach who is qualified and good enough and not get in the way like Billy Napier did. And so I think that they can compete for sure. I mean, you look at what happened Saturday. Jaden Baugh had an incredible day. I mean, he's one of the best backs in the country. If you're able to get DJ or a quarterback up to speed, who knows what you can do? The schedule gets a lot easier next year.
We're the Andrew Spivey, Gator Country. What does John have to do, that's what we're calling him now, what does he have to do at this press conference today?
I don't know. I don't know that there's anything he can say. I don't know if there's anything he can do to completely win over the fan base. because they are so upset that it's not Lane, but obviously there's some things he can't do, and that is, speak in any way, shape, or form like Billy Napier did, where he preaches patience and, all of that. He can't do any of that. If he does that, he's going to be in trouble. I think he just needs to go be himself. Show the intensity that we've heard about from him. Show the ability to win a room over. Several people I talked to said that were on that call last night said that guys were ready to strap it up and run through a wall for him. And but he has that ability to get guys fired up. He has that ability to get guys to I don't want to say go to war, but definitely be competitive and be tough. He has that. He's a former linebacker. So just show that. I mean, that would be my thing. Just be yourself. Don't be Billy Napier.
They beat Florida State, right? That happened? I know.
Yeah, it was boring. I mean, it was a great game, but it was boring too because Florida State's so bad. It's not a good Florida football team, and Florida dominated them for the entire game. I mean, they ran like 4 plays the entire second half. It was inside run, outside run, toss left, toss right, and they dominated. Dominated. DJ was under 200 yards passing, but Bob was 268 yards on 38 carries. Dominated. Jaden Bob dominated that game.
I just want to say this to you. That completed on Saturday, I think 13 seasons you and me have talked Florida Gator football together. 13, buddy. That's bar mitzvah stuff. Can you believe it? 13.
And coach number 4.
Yeah, all right. So when I met you, it was Muschamp, then it was McElwain, then Mullen, Napier, and now this guy.
Coach 5.
Yeah, 5. That is wild. And you know what? Yumi, we still have not seen a conference championship by the Florida Gators.
No, but I said this to someone, Mark, and I'm not liked in Gator Nation when I say this, but I'll stand by it. And that is the guy who was the most successful was a guy by the name of Jim McElwain, who people didn't like because he didn't talk like them or whatever and was different. For 2 years that he completed, he was in Atlanta both years. Yeah, they lost, but I asked the fan base this: would you rather be in Atlanta and lose, or do what you've been doing under Billy Napier, where you're not even going to a bowl game?
No, you're not. Well, Vandy won 10 games. Indiana's undefeated, and Florida can't get to a bowl game. You're right. This is the reality now of college football. It is wild, dude. Andrew, I know you got to go to the press conference and everything, so I appreciate all your help, and I hope I can get you on again sometime, all right?
Absolutely, Mark. Take care, buddy.